One of my interests about America is Christopher Columbus. I think he's very remarkable as a historical figure, very important in the world. And I think that Christopher Columbus kind of navigated to the American world. I think that we had Queen Isabella of Spain. I think that was kind of the historical nature of the time. We had Queen Isabella of Spain, and I think Christopher Columbus navigated to the world with the relationship with Queen Isabella of the world. Now, Spain is very important in Europe because it's very Muslim. I think the Muslims conquered Europe, and I think Queen Isabella is quite Muslim as well. You can check her blood analysis. I think she's quite Muslim. I think Spain is very strict, extreme, and punitive with its religion in Spain, whatever that religion is. I think the Muslims conquered Spain, so I think Spain is kind of doing some kind of a jizya tax, and it's kind of worshipping Islam, and it's kind of quite Muslim. If you look at the rest of the Europe, it's quite agriculture. It's kind of milk and honey. It's quite agriculture in nature. But if you look at Spain, it's about bulls and dark hair, and it's kind of very Muslim in its punishment and orthodox behavior, and kind of very extreme religious behavior. I think most of Europe is quite accepting in its religion. It's quite accepting religion, but I think with Spain, it kind of insists on religion. It does the Spanish Inquisition. That's religious police and torture. So I think Spain in Europe is very distinctive because it's very religious. I don't know why it's very religious. It could be something to do with the Muslims, but I think that most of Europe is quite accepting of religions. They have a good quality of life that's quite nice and relaxed, including Greece and maybe Italy as well. But Spain is a bit different because it seems to be offended, and it seems to demand things because it feels it's offended. Nobody should feel offended. Nobody should demand things. But I think Spain feels offended. It could be El Cid, El Salvador, El Cid. It could be kind of like having too much religion in Spain. And I think that's why we have the conditions of Queen Isabella of Spain. That's why we have Queen Isabella of Spain, because Queen Isabella is a Muslim. She comes from Muslim aristocrats. So I think Queen Isabella of Spain is very ordained, but autotrite. And I think that Christopher Columbus navigated 3,000 kilometers of ocean to settle in America, to land in America, settle in America. He's kind of instructed by Queen Isabella of Spain. And I think Christopher Columbus is an unusual name. It's not a popular, common name. It's an unusual name, but I think he comes from Colombia. It could be a conquistador from Colombia, and I think he talked to Queen Isabella of Spain, and then he did some kind of ocean navigation and a ship navigation to the Newfoundland, which is America, but it's the West Indies. So he navigated 3,000 kilometre ocean, which is very remarkable. Because people can't do those things in those times. Can't do that. But he's done that. So it is quite a remarkable achievement. It's an achievement as well. Navigating the 3,000 kilometres with some kind of conversation with Queen Isabella of Spain. He's landed in America, somewhere close to New York, East America. He's landed somewhere close to kind of the New York area. I don't know what that area is called, but it seems to be some kind of a harbour area for colonial trade and international trade. I think that's what that area is. He landed there. He introduced himself to the Native Americans. He promised the European technology, and he offered friendship with European technology. That's how they do colonialism. They offer European technology, European friendship, European chocolates, European sugar. So they kind of promised them European technology because they appreciate the deterioration of their conditions. They appreciate their kind of cause and the deterioration of their conditions. So I think that Christopher Columbus landed there, promised them a lot of European technology, which could do very well for Native Americans. It could clothe them. I don't think Native Americans are clothed. They're barebacked for whatever reason. They can offer them food, quite good food, and they can build their accommodation. I don't think Native Americans have accommodation. I think they have tents. If you look at Native America, there's something like 50 million Native Americans there, but they don't have any accommodation. They don't seem to have houses on cliffs. They don't seem to have small settlements with stone buildings or maybe wood structure buildings. They kind of seem displaced with tents. So we have a lot of Native Americans, 50 million of them, and they don't seem to have any accommodation. So I think the Europeans have kind of offered them some luxuries, some kind of helpfulness and service, accommodation, clothing, perhaps some rifles as well to help pick things up. I think the Europeans offered them European technology, advancement, kindness, spirit, art and technology and science as well, and some kind of friendship as well. I think that's why they could conduct some kind of relationships with them. So I think the Europeans landed there. How many Europeans can immigrate to the Newfoundland Native American? I think maybe 5 million a year with those ships, with those wooden ships. So I think we've had maybe 18 million Europeans who've migrated to America, the Newfoundland. I think we've had something like those numbers. That's a whole population. It's kind of like a third of a population of a country. So that's a lot of immigration. But I think when those Europeans migrated to America and settled there, I think they bred with the Native Americans because that's common and that's all they could do. I don't think they could invite other immigrants from Europe. I think all they did was bred with Native Americans. So I think we had 50 million Native Americans and maybe 18 million European immigrants settling in America because of Christopher Columbus. And I think because of this, We have a modern country in the world called the United States of America. It's existed from 1492 around about 1500. So we've had about 500 years of America in a very docile slumber condition without kind of a welcome in the world or kind of a presence in the world. Excuse me. It's kind of just introduced European settlers who've bred with Native Americans and done a whole population of America without breeding. I think they feel that it's some kind of colonial behaviour and attitude. So I think America as a modern country is kind of a colonial country in the world that has a makeup of Native American DNA in their blood. You can check blood analysis of Americans in the world. You'll find that most of it is Native American. Who the hell are the Americans? What do they look like? Do the Americans look like European? Do the Americans look like Europeans? No, they don't. I think what Americans look like are Native Americans. I think that's what they are. I think Americans are Native Americans. That's what they look like. They don't look European. They look Native American. You can have a look. You can have a look at how they look. They look Native American and they behave Native American as well. I think Americans have bred with Native Americans. I think that's how it is. Thank you very much.